Hey guys, I'm Desikan, and in today's video I'm going to be talking about some popular best-selling shades from Maybelline. So I have their lipsticks and liquid lipsticks. These are some of their best-selling shades, or used to be one of their best-selling shades as well. So let's rewind for some nostalgia. I think you guys would agree with me on some of these shades as well. Like, they used to be so popular when they initially launched. So those are what I'm going to be talking about, swatching in today's video. So let's get started. The first shade we have is called More Taupe, and this one is actually a subtle brown shade. Reminds me a little bit of Toasted Brown, which I will be swatching as well, but this is such a beautiful shade and the formula is really nice, matte and pigmented. Next up we have the shade called Midnight Date, which is a berry toned red shade, and I remember this formula being so much more pigmented, and it would have looked so good if it were that pigmented. This one is a little bit more sheeny looking, but nonetheless it is a beautiful shade, and it is one of their popular shades. When they initially launched this, it was sold out most of the times. The next one I'm going to be swatching is called Nude Nuance, and this was one of the original formulas, and this formula is what has been reformulated now, and it's a little bit sheeny and sheer looking like the previous swatch. But this is one of my favorite nude lipsticks, and this is one of my favorite everyday lipsticks. But you guys can see I've used this up so much, and I'm trying to actually save it up because I'm not sure if I can ever find this formula again. So yeah, this is Nude Nuance. This is a very little bit of a cool toned nude shade. Would suit a lot of people, would not suit a lot of people. A lot of people really like this, a lot of people don't like it at all. So you can be in either one of the list. I really like it. I really love it, and I used to wear it even without makeup, and it didn't look really bad on me. The next one we have is the Maybelline Powder Mattes, and this one is in the shade Toasted Brown. Again, I have the original formula. This one is also been reformulated. This is a shade that is very half and half. Sometimes I can really love this shade, and sometimes I absolutely detest it, especially without makeup. But I use this mostly as a blush, and it works like a really nice warm toned blush. So this is what it looks like on the lips. Now this is a lipstick that would suit people of light and light medium skin tones really well. So I have compared these two shades, More Taupe and Toasted Brown, on my hand right here. So this one is More Taupe, which is a little bit more pink toned, and this one is Toasted Brown. They are almost similar color family. And then we have again a lot of people's favorite lipstick. This one is in the shade Touch of Spice. This would again suit people of light and light medium skin tones really well, even medium skin tones with makeup. But if you were to wear this without makeup, because of that sort of a lilac hint to it, it can wash you out. And this is a lipstick that I have worn, and people have asked me why do I look sick? So this is not one of my favorite shades. I like it only as a blush more than a lipstick even, and that's how I've used up a lot of this lipstick. And the next shade we have is Divine Wine. This used to be a lot of people's OG favorite, and it looks a lot deeper on you if you are of a lighter skin tone than I am. This is a little bit more warm toned compared to the previous shade, that is Midnight Date. Midnight Date has a little bit more berry hints to it, but this is a really nice shade. The next shade we have is called Burgundy Blush. This is my favorite shade even over the shade Divine Wine, because it's a lot deeper and it works really well for my skin tone, and I love these kind of deep burgundy shades, and this would look so good on so many different skin tones. But of course with the newer formula it would be a little bit sheer and sheeny, so kind of keep that in mind. The next shade we have is the original Loaded Bowls collection, and this one is in the shade Berry Bossy, but this shade has been discontinued, so don't ask me for link for this one. If you have it, treasure it, because it's a beautiful berry tone shade. It does transfer a lot, it does create a mess, but it's a beautiful shade, and I have recommended this up until last year while it was available. Right now you can't find it at all. Now this is a shade I used to enjoy wearing, especially pre-COVID times, and with yellow outfits, mustard colored outfits, it looked so beautiful. And this, I don't know if you guys remember, used to be out of stock all the time. Next up we have the Maybelline Sensational Liquid Matte Lipstick. This one is in the shade Made Easy. I think this was in very exclusive launch. It was not available all over the world, but when it was launched in India, a lot of people went crazy, especially the shade Made Easy was sold out most of the time. It's a coppery red kind of a shade, and The formula of this is pretty good. It's not very drying, it's not super long lasting as well, and it's pretty pigmented on the lips, and it's a beautiful shade indeed. And now literally nobody talks about this particular shade. It is a forgotten product. And then I'm going to be swatching some of the Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Liquid Lipsticks. Wish me luck, because oh my god, this is gonna be hard, because they are quite long wearing and they don't come off easily. So I will try my best. Just swatch all of these. Next up we have this Maybelline Superstay Matte Ink Liquid Lipstick. This one is in the shade Pioneer, and this one is a beautiful blue toned red shade. It's a very long wearing formula, but it can like kind of shrink your lips, like dry your lips out from the center, and it doesn't really bleed as much. It does bleed a little bit, but it's easy to fix it. But it's not like the other shade, which I'm going to be showing you guys in the next swatch, which is like bulletproof. It lasts throughout the day. It's not like that. It does kind of dry your lips out from the center. So yeah, the formula of these liquid lipsticks are not very consistent. Just keep that in mind. And this is not like extremely sticky, but it does remain sticky for quite some time on the lips. Next up we have the shade Artist. Now from the swatches that I first saw, it seemed like a more brighter berry toned shade, but for me it's sort of like a purplish pink shade, and I would have liked it the other way, but I have a feeling that they have reformulated it, and hence there is a difference in the shade. This is that liquid lipstick that I mentioned, that this lasts on my lips the entire day. I have to use like a good makeup remover to take this one off. It doesn't dry my lips out. It doesn't really bleed, flake, nothing of that sort. So this is one of the most amazing shades and formula I have tried out, even from the Maybelline matte ink range. A beautiful like formula for this particular shade, and I have worn it so many times underneath mask, eaten like extremely greasy creamy meals, and nothing has happened ever. The next shade we have is again a very popular shade called Globetrotter. This looks straight up like orange on me. It looks like I have had like an orange popsicle or something, and it's just stained my lips. So I'm not a very big fan of this shade, and I don't pretty much wear this at all. The next shade we have is called Self Starter. Again, a very popular shade, but it doesn't suit people of my skin tone. Maybe if you are lighter than me, it would work for you. And because these don't really settle down to a powder matte, like a complete matte finish, it has a little bit of a shine. Even though it settles down completely, it has a little bit of a shine, like I don't know how to explain it. It looks weird on the lips, especially if I wear a shade like this. And with this shade particularly, because it's a little bit brighter and patchy, you can't really purse your lips together until they completely dry down, or it'll get patchy towards the center. The next one we have is the shade Amazonian, and this one is a beautiful nude shade for a lot of different skin tones. I have seen this look really good on a lot of different skin tones, but it's certainly not for me. I feel like it's a little bit like subtle, but also extremely warm for my preference. And maybe I can pull this one off with a full face of makeup on, but without makeup I can't even imagine myself wearing this particular shade. Again, I feel like formula wise this is not the best, because it's a little bit thick. It takes a long time to dry down, and if you were to eat something, it will kind of create a mess, become extremely patchy and fade away from the center. And then removing this lipstick is hard because it's a long wearing lipstick. So I would just say maybe avoid this particular shade. The next one we have is the shade Ruler, and this is a beautiful warm pink shade, and I have worn this so many times. It is a little bit like drying on the lips, like slightly drying, not the most comfortable formula, not like the shade Artist, but it doesn't really create a mess, doesn't really look very patchy and weird on the lips, and it doesn't really take an extremely long amount of time to dry down. It is a little bit sticky for about at least 5 minutes, and after a bit it's okay. It's like it calms down. And the key with most of these liquid lipsticks is you have to let it dry down before you purse your lips together, otherwise they do transfer quite a bit, and most of the shades are like that, except the shade Pioneer and Artist. Most of the shades do that, so you have to wait before you purse your lips together because it's a little bit thick and waxy. The next shade we have is called Lover. This is a super popular shade, and I think it's popular among people who are of a lighter skin tone than I am, because for me it's, you can just see it's like a lilac shade, lilac pink shade. I'm not very big, I'm not a very big fan of the shade nor the formula of this. It takes a lot of time to dry down. It can be a little bit patchy as well. So I would personally recommend to skip this particular shade. The next one we have is the shade Founder. It's a beautiful, like very toned pink shade. I have worn this so many times. I like the formula of this. It's not patchy. It's quite comfortable on the lips. It does bleed a teeny tiny bit, but again, it's very easy to fix it, and it's one of my favorite shades. So from this range, you can see that most of the deeper shades actually work pretty well, and the lighter shades can be extremely patchy. This shade doesn't take a long time to dry down as well, and you can purse your lips together in a couple of minutes. So yeah, that's pretty much all of the lipsticks and liquid lipsticks that I wanted to swatch. Let me know what shade I have missed out on, that is your absolute favorite, in the comment section down below. And while you're at it, give this video a big thumbs up and also subscribe to my channel and hit that notification bell so that you're notified every time I upload a new video. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Bye.